Welcome everybody to this webinar, which is a cooperation of EABH and the National Bank of Poland. My name is Carmen Hoffman. I'm the Secretary General of EABH, and for those of you who don't know, EABH is a network of banking practitioners, archivists, museum people, communication experts, and historians that are interested in financial history. And I'm very pleased to see so many of you joining us today for this topic, which is a little bit of a break from the usual we're concerned with this year before we hopefully leave for a nice Christmas break. So our topic today will be company magazines and their use as a trust building and communication tool. And we will learn about this by the example of Bankoteka, the company magazine of the National Bank of Poland. We're very pleased that the two main editors, the main editor and the main content. Anyway, Anna and Stanislav will explain yourself their exact roles in a few minutes. Before we start, I wanted to tell you some technicalities. So we have a poll if you would like to participate, just as like out of interest, whether you're working from home or not, and some other details. I would kindly ask you to turn your microphones off for sound reasons, and if you like, keep your video on. It makes it a little bit more social. We're going to record this session. If you don't want to be recorded, then you better turn your video off. If you have any questions, you can either place them in the chat function or ask them in person after the seminar. However, both presenters, they're going to only answer the questions after their presentation. And that is really everything I have to say. And I'm happy to hand over to Anna and Stanislav to Warsaw now to start with their presentation.
Oh, hello from Warsaw. Warsaw is the city where the headquarters of National Bank of Poland is located, and the money center itself, and the Bankoteka as its magazine is also being prepared. With me is, I'm just an editor, so I'm just saying hi, and with me is Anna Brzyska, and we'll be presenting the magazine together.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for participating in our first online workshop. My name is Anna Brzyska, and together with Stanisław Gorący, we would like to present to you Bankoteka, our quarterly magazine, which has been published regularly since 2011, and this magazine has become a quite successful example of an educational publication at our bank. We represent the National Bank of Poland Money Center, and Bankoteka from the very beginning was directly related to this center. So now this is our most effective and, as we believe, also most interesting communication and trust building tool at the bank. And I will share our presentation right now. Okay. Yes, please, Stanisław, the floor is yours.
Okay, Christmas is coming. Our latest edition is ready, as you see from the cover pages. It's not totally, but to some extent, it has like connections with the coming holiday, coming Christmas. So we talk about later, just to introduce the nice holiday atmosphere and the winter, which is unfortunately not in Poland, just be showing to the cover of the latest edition.
We divided our presentation into 7 main parts. First, we are going to present briefly the beginnings of Bankoteka and some basic statistics and numbers concerning especially articles, authors, and other insights. Then we will share with you some information about the whole editorial and production process and distribution channels. And then finally, we will talk about reviews and feedback from various circles of our audiences. At the end of the presentation, Stanisław will pass on some examples of good practice and tell you about the ideas for the nearest future. So let's start.
Okay, let's start with the vignette. As you see, the magazine developed even with the cover. From the very beginning was very simple, just one color cover. Then we changed it. But the important thing is, what does it mean in bankoteca? Sounds like a discotheque. That's even better. But actually, the gossip said in 2011 that the governors of the bank, I mean, came up with this name. So actually, it started from the Italian word banca for bank, and teca in Polish is a file. But I really like this sound, this title as it sounds. So because it draw especially young people attention. Discotheque, bankotheque, sounds good.
Before we start talking about the magazine, I would like to give you a short introduction concerning the Money Center. I suppose not everyone has visited or even heard about this facility. So as I've mentioned previously, this is an interactive and exhibition institution which was officially opened to the public in May 2016 at the National Bank of Poland head office in Warsaw. It was a completely new idea of developing financial education and promoting the growth of knowledge in this field among Polish citizens especially. Our Money Center presents the history and role of money in Poland and around the world, combining traditional and more interactive, very modern technologies. The permanent exhibition was created in cooperation with a number of financial and cultural institutions and involved the participation of many prominent experts. After 8 years of technical and substantive work, our permanent exhibition was ready to welcome its first visitors. Our exhibition covers more than 2,000 square meters, consists of 3 levels of visiting, and is divided into 16 exhibition spaces. Knowledge about economics and the history of money is presented by means of over 250 multimedia devices and more than 4,000 exceptionally unique exhibits from our bank collections. At our center, visitors have an opportunity to see many normally inaccessible attractions of the central bank. Within a few years, we have significantly expanded a lot of educational programs and other activities to promote knowledge, especially about economics and the history of money. Admission to our center is free of charge. Participation in all educational activities is also free of charge. We are open 6 days a week. Of course, now we are closed. Since the opening in 2016 to October 2020, a total of 260,000 people visited our facility, and with each passing year, the center is visited by more and more guests.
Okay, you can see now first cover pages of Bankoteca. The one in green is the number one, prepared by the Department of Communication and Promotion. And then, since number 2, I became an editor of it, and our Department of Education and Publication. From the very beginning, the Bankoteca's goal was to present the idea of the concept, because it was something new at the National Bank of Poland. Also, we We have written about the latest development, about latest decision, because the idea of having was accepted by the board of the NVP in 2010, and then since 2011 we were like promoting and showing the future the future of the money center in the magazine. Certainly, education was the very important goal. So we have, I mean, presented the different rooms, exhibits being collected, and also we have written articles about money museums around the world, just to give the readers idea. Also, we important section at the beginning was like a trivia titled "Did you know?" So through the trivia to the knowledge, because it was an attractive way of I mean approaching or drawing attention of young people. First issue in English was not like a direct translation of the Bankoteka in Polish. It was just like a compilation. Now you can see, for example, a short description of the 16 room, and also we presented the visualization, for example, prepared as a video for the website by the architectural company. So you can see the video was like a in 3D system, but even printed looked very good, and people could expect something really interesting. To promote and to show an idea and show how does the future money center will look like, we prepared a pop-up book with a huge dimension, like a 2 by 2 meters. And personally, I was traveling throughout 16 branches of National Bank of Poland with Bankoteka and this book. It really draw an attention. Anya?
So now let's have a look at some numbers and statistics. First issues of Bankoteka published between 2011 and 2016 had a circulation of about 600 copies. And since April 2016, we have significantly increased the circulation of each issue to around 6,000 copies. At the very beginning, texts in Bankoteka were mainly in the form of interviews with experts, especially involved in the creation of the concept of the money center. So we presented opinions about the project voiced by the experts who cooperated with us. Since 2012, we have involved a much wider range of authors, because articles have been written mostly by our internal experts, especially from our money center and the National Bank of Poland regional offices. From time to time, we publish articles contributed directly by directors and the staff of foreign museums, especially the authors of temporary exhibitions. And our contributors included also members of some expert and advisory boards cooperating with our money center. So so far we have published about 130 articles illustrated by more than 550 photos, scans, images, and other forms of graphics. And we have cooperated with more than 20 regular contributors. Just after the inauguration of the Money Center in 2016, Bankoteka has been published as our quarterly educational magazine, and this particular issue you can see on the slide was dedicated to the history of the creation of our facility and the presentation of all exhibition spaces. what's very important for us is the fact that all the language editions of Bankoteka have been registered by the Polish National Library, and they are marked with international standard serial numbers.
Okay, now me. Designing an editorial process. The process looks like that. That every week I attend the meetings of the money center staff, and I just listening what's new, what will be new addition, what new exhibits and exhibitions. Also, I check the anniversaries and see what's going around at the center and around the center. Next step is to choose the authors. Let me tell you that they don't have to. I mean, the staff of NBP don't have to write the articles. I have to convince them that they know what they could write. So I'm preparing the list based on my discussion and my consultations and and conviction of the staff from the money center. So then it's like a working process.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I can prepare a list, knowing that the writers and the staff is ready to write the article. At the end, when the articles are ready, we have Department of Publications. I mean, the section of publication at the Department of Education and Publication. So we have proofreaders, and we have here at the bank the graphic designer, as well as like a printing house. So everything is done on the premises of the headquarters of National Bank of Poland. Okay, authors. I'm listening to the name because it's really important. We have experts, we have specialists. I could tell. I mean, if, many good things about the people listed here. Marlena is the director of the money center. Anna Brzyska is here. She has, I mean, she writes very interesting articles. She has like I would say, academic approach. So she's checking everything and really gives a really, I mean, nice source of knowledge at certain exhibits or certain expositions. Marcin Madejski is an expert on numismatics. If we have anything at Bankoteka about numismatics, I mean, Marcin help is absolutely necessary. Specialist in education, Katarzyna Rokosz, Małgorzata Popłowska is taking care of the website. Jacek is from IT, but also writes interesting about, for example, auto guides and what's being changed from the technical point of view. Another thing is that we don't have a photographer. Actually, I'm always asking Jacek or Marcin. I'm going with them, and we take photos. Other experts, they are like those who try. I mean, who work from for the money center, who started their job a little bit later. Mateusz Sora is an excellent historian. Adam is very good in economics, about website. Eliza Walczak is our PhD specialist in numismatics. Anya Sambil, conservator, taking care of, and she's so busy. I mean that I really could get from her only one article, but very interesting one about the Chinese means of payment. And Natalia is the head of the section, always busy, always creating something, and she writes as well very interesting text. Uh, Sometimes I'm asking the program board members, who are like four or five professors, if we writing on serious issue like the famous Polish economies or economy or ideas in economy or economics. What else? There's another. It was also another name as an example of somebody who is working on the central bank, and he's not in Warsaw, he's in Kielce, but he introduced himself, and I really like this text. Now you see the slide with the photos. Okay, photos with children. Certainly, we write about workshops, but photos with children always attract attention of readers. Now you see one example of the cover page, and then the pictures from the workshops. There's a little remark, but very important. Using visitors' photos requires visitors' or parents' consent. Don't even start to take picture without having this consent, and especially for children or with children. Do you have anything else for me? Yes. Okay. So this is another other examples actually about pictures and parents consent. So as you can see on the right side of the screen, the children were photographed. I mean, were taken actually from the back from the heads. Why? Because I didn't have the parent consent. So I'm very careful about.
So our texts are richly illustrated by a lot of photos, scans, graphics, and other pictures that are related not only to our exhibition and our numismatic collections, but also illustrate a lot of additional topics on economics, central banking, monetary economy, and financial systems. We use three main sources of illustrations. One of the most important is our own database containing the photos of exhibits from our collection, National Bank of Poland Numismatic Collection. An additional and abundant source of illustrations are Wikimedia and other public domains, especially available in English and in Polish. And finally, for the needs of some articles, we photograph selected parts of the exhibition or specific objects, or even, as Stanisław mentioned, groups of visitors participating in special or educational events organized in the space of the Money Center, of course, always after obtaining their consent. As far as languages are concerned, first issues of Bankoteka, I mean editions from 2011, were published only in Polish, but from the very beginning we were engaged in international cooperation in many fields, especially with other central banks, creating money centers or museums of a similar type as ours. So from the very beginning, we expected visitors from all around the world. The English edition of the Bankoteka magazine appeared in 2012, but this issue was only dated and not numbered, not marked with a number. But as we contributed in different educational and conference projects abroad especially, we also decided to publish our magazine in Russian. Of course, initially only selected special numbers, starting with the first issue in 2013, because we organized the joint Polish-Russian conference in EABH that time. So it was a great opportunity for starting issues in Russian. Since 2016, all English and Russian issues have been published quarterly, and these English editions, along with Polish, can be found on our websites. What else? So on the slide, you can see sections of the magazine, which we started from number first. So I will give the voice to Stanisław.
Okay, so let me stress this. The first issues was kind of promotion, but we always tried educational, approach and informative. Information about what will be at the center, was really important. So the idea, education, our experts, I interviewed some of them, I presented in the exhibitions, and the museum of the world, just to show, to give an idea how our museum will be look like. Then from number 7, as Anna already mentioned, was for the opening, prepared for the opening. It was like a review, what has been done and what we can expect, presenting just final visualization of the all 16 rooms. So number 7, number 8, we started with exhibitions, and then I introduced the section of guest of the NDP Money Center. So using this section, I just indirectly show the possibility of visiting the center by, for example, people with disabilities. We also presented some groups of foreigners. We encourage them to come, that we always provide the translators. And then in those two first, 9 and 10 issues, I introduced the calendar of the event. So Anya will tell you more about the calendar, but
yes.
it became a really important section, like being a trace what's going on and what was done, has been done and what will be done.
So starting from number 11, published in 2017, we decided to divide the whole content of our magazine into 7 main sections. The sections have remained more or less the same, but we always try to adapt their order and their content proportions to our current needs or to our new educational activities. So let me introduce them briefly in some examples. So the first section, education, this is definitely the most important regular section of our magazine, because the main goal of the Money Center is to promote knowledge about economics, financial and banking systems in the present and in the past. And our mission is to familiarize our visitors and readers with the history of money in different times all over the world. So we publish a lot of articles related to the exhibition, to our regularly updated contents, as well as to the whole educational offer. As you can see in the example, This is the article explaining the functioning of the stock exchange and the history of investing. Why? Because at the Money Center we have a special exhibition room which is dedicated to this topic, to financial systems and the stock exchange. The second section is exhibitions, new or significantly changed elements. This section informs our audiences about new elements at the exhibition and presents these parts of the Money Center that have been changed, extended, or modernized. For example, as you can see on the slide, when we prepared a new exhibition in the room referred to the World Wars First and Second, one of our authors wrote an article explaining the root causes and the course of hyperinflation in post-war Europe. So this is the example. The next section is under the title Discovering Multimedia. Let's open the showcases. In this section, we usually describe a lot of topics which are presented in our showcases and multimedia devices, but very often they are not so much visible or even hidden in our multimedia devices. So on Bankoteka's pages, we can discuss great numbers of issues in more detail and in a broader context. For example, in one of our Bankoteka issue, we presented our Chinese commodity money collections that Stanisław also mentioned, after it's coming back from conservation. So there were a few articles in this issue which revealed not only the secrets behind the conservation works, but also described the history of these numismatic items. The next section is exhibits. This section is a great place to present particularly unique, rare and exceptional objects from our Money Center collections, including also the new acquisitions. So detailed descriptions of these artifacts can be found in this section of Bankoteka. As you can see in this example, some of the items are genuine works of art, as those presented here. So you can see, for example, unique items associated with the production of the collector banknote commemorating Maria Curie-Skłodowska, or, for example, the post box from the 18th century and the antique vault trolley from 1930s. From the calendar, this is the next section. This section informs our readers about important educational and seasonal events which are organized by the Money Center itself or in cooperation with cultural institutions or other entities. This is also the best place to remind some of the most memorable moments from our activities and evaluate the events that have already taken place at the center. For example, in our calendar, we reported the Night of Museums in 2019, which was a very special night due to celebrating the 100th anniversary of the revival of the Polish currency, złoty. And on that occasion, we prepared a lot of attractions and special educational paths for our visitors at the Money Center. And here you can see also open lectures. This is the next section. This is a kind of an invitation to our seminars and regular lectures, which are organized by the Money Center since 2019. These lectures are conducted by prominent, outstanding experts and are related to the socio-economic history of Poland and various numismatic issues from all around the world. For this autumn-winter season, we've also prepared new topics for talks, which were to be delivered by some renowned lecturers and numismatists. But of course, due to the COVID-19, we had to suspend them all. But the dates of all planned lectures can be usually checked on the website and in the magazine. And our last section, what's new on the National Bank of Poland Money Center website. So the last section is about educational novelties, not only offered by the Money Center and at the Money Center, but also on our website. Recent months, as we know, have been very challenging for all of us due to the COVID-19. So our team at the bank have prepared special scenarios of lessons and educational materials which can be downloaded by pupils and students, and they can implement on their own at homes. So we have also prepared, as you can see on the slide, the comic book On the Trail of the Polish Złoty, which presents the fascinating history of Polish money, but in a very attractive way. Especially to children, to youth, because it's something different than traditional school textbook. And this is something additional. From the particular to the general, this is a kind of approach to writing articles about our objects in Bankoteka, because we pay a lot special attention to our objects at the exhibition, but we realized while exploring the whole exhibition, visitors can have some problems and difficulties to focus on every detail and learn of the history of each object. So in Bankoteka, we prepare a lot of articles which aims to present these objects under magnification. I mean, you can see it closely, you can get it know better, and read something more about them. Not only watch them at the exhibition, but also read something more in the magazine.
Okay, Anna could talk more about the cowrie shells, because she wrote two articles, very interesting. And another article about Henry Hector was written by our expert on numismatics, Marcin Madejski. So when I am presenting you next slide with first and last page, so I just like to draw your attention that, okay, however I'm writing the editorial, the first page, I am always ready to write about anything, but as for now, all writers are feel responsible for the magazine, so I don't have to write. I mean, different article. And it is important, as you can see on the last page, to imprint all names of the authors and what they have written, what they have done. Now let's go to distribution. It's like a working process. I always adjust these sheets sending for distribution. As we mentioned, it was 6,000. Nowadays, during pandemic time, we just printing 4,000 issues, because I mean, at least half of it was distributed to the visitor, but there's no visitor at the center and the visitor right now. So we're still sending them to the regional office of National Bank of Poland, because they used to also provide direct distribution, but they have different seminars, presentations for local schools, universities, and local communities, like the seniors, etc. And they are still organized, open their days, not nowadays, but still there are so many people. I mean, not only numismatists who collect the all issues. So I want them to have it. Another I mean place when I am, or institution rather, when I am sending the Bankoteka as Polish Numismatic Society. They have 52 branches in Poland, and they like redistribute, recirculate the issues to them. we've been using always at the conferences, at the seminars, and the gala event. I think you can see one email on this slide that colleague from the Department of Education, I mean from the section of education at our department is asking me for 1,657 issues because they were, I mean, young people from middle or high school who participated in the contest of financial issues. And the last point, there are small societies and small groups, and I have a list of them. They always ask me for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about special issues of Bankoteka. These special issues were designed to accompany temporary exhibitions, some of which were organized even before the opening of the Money Center, because the first exhibition concerning the history of central banking in Poland and in the USA was presented in 2013. These issues usually marked important anniversaries or commemorated prominent figures in the history of the Polish central banking and in the history of the Polish economy. These special editions of Bankoteka were published as richly illustrated exhibition catalogs containing a lot of additional information, photographs, descriptions of exhibits, interviews, and they are usually full of interesting stories related to the particular topics. On several subsequent slides, you can see covers of these special issues and a few chosen pages from their inside. This is our first special editions, the history of central banking, Poland and the USA, and the next one is the wartime fate of the Polish gold. Our last special issue of Bankoteka was dedicated to the educational and open-air exhibition, which we prepared in 2018 on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of Poland regaining its independence. And the exhibition also marked the centenary of the rebirth of the Polish currency, zloty. But as you can see on the slide, the exhibition was absolutely one of its kind because it acquired a really unique form. It had a shape of a 12-meter long 5 zloty coin, and it was beautifully lighted at night. And inside this coin, within separate chronological blocks, visitors could follow the history of money on the Polish territories from the 16th century to the interwar period. And this exhibition was presented and promoted in many Polish cities, especially where our regional branches operate, and enjoyed huge interest among visitors. Here you can see the special edition of Bankoteka, which accompanied this exhibition. This edition was really special because for the first time it was bilingual and served not only as the exhibition catalog, but also proved to be a quite nice gift, souvenir for our visitors.
Okay, so now a few slides. They will present the conclusion of what I have already said. I'm always receiving calls, emails from the PR managers at the regional branches. They usually ask for more. They ask for more and more, especially when they organize the seminars, meetings with regional schools, etc. I'm also receiving many emails from the newly joined the group of the permanent readers that they ask for the archives, for the old numbers, to put them on the list. And of course, I'm receiving from the guides the direct feedback the visitor. Not nowadays. So let's again conclude what I had said. Always have a topic. If I can give you some advice, have a topic. Connect with this topic the cover page. Make sure that this cover page is attractive to listeners, because if it's attractive to listeners, that will be also attractive to your supervisors. Don't even show the list of the text to the department director or to any other supervisor without showing them the project of the cover page. Sometimes two. So they have a pleasure to decide which one they can choose. Discuss all articles early enough with the staff of the money center, because as I already mentioned, they don't have to. This is not their mandatory task. Now many of them feel connected with Bartkonteka. So even if they say no, not this quarter because I'm preparing different publications, etc. So I have to agree. Say, but next quarter, next issue, you definitely have to write something. I'm always listening to the opinion, remarks, and as I mentioned, I always under the text at the end I place the names. So it's important. Also, I'm showing the sources of photographs and illustrations. And another reminder, and have parents or people consent to take and publish the photo. Be careful, especially with children. You can do it directly when you see visiting parents and children, or through the teachers who are bringing the school children for the workshop. Don't ask for text too late, because finally you have to write yourself, because what doesn't change, it's a number of pages, 28. So be aware that you have to write yourself. Ideas for the needed future. I would say I'm been concentrating on the next quarter issue. I already have the list of articles, and I will work on the cover. And now the wishes is I would say more important than telling you about the ideas. In 2017, I thought that for the fourth quarter of the year would be nice to show something for Christmas, because the day of the publication is the December 1st. So as you see, the Christmas tree with the gold coin, and described inside, but if you're putting also something like a children photo, looking at those gold of the gold coins, that's even better. And 3 years after, I just said to myself, well, Christmas is coming. It's not the joyful time for everybody. So let's put something on this occasion. Inside you can find, even in English edition, the poems, the Christmas carols written by the famous Polish poet, beginning in actually 16th century until 21. So hope you like this cover, and I wish you Merry Christmas,
Christmas.
and happy holiday.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Anna and Stanislav. I very much liked your conclusion that always use children, but you have to ask the parents for their consent. Well, I think that was an excellent example of how the museum can work together with a company magazine, or the magazine with a museum, the other way around, to reach a wide audience. I mean, if I remember your numbers correctly, then like you have a huge audience, and basically it's a bit like your magazine is like a national education tool, right? Because you
Yes,
said
Exactly.
definitely.
260,000 visitors per year, that's like 1,000 every day, something like that. That's a lot of people visiting.
And it was since the opening to October, so not a year, but yes, okay, so within a few years.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so I don't have any questions at the moment, but probably some of our other participants. So please, if you want to ask a question, you can put it to the chat function, or you just raise your hands, or like this reaction, and like open your video and ask away. Are there any questions? It doesn't seem like.
Okay, everything is clear then.
Well, yeah, I think it was quite a clear presentation of the process and the topics,
and we should remind that all these issues are available at our website, so you can read
Issues in
directly,
English.
yes,
Yeah.
directly from our website, English versions also.
I think there's a question from Anders, or do I misinterpret?
No, exactly. Yeah, hi, Anders Sjöman,
Hi.
Center for Business History in Stockholm, in Sweden. I'm wondering if you're thinking of taking it to the next level in other media formats. Everything you've written now over the past years could be turned into a pod, a movie, a video, whatever. Are you thinking about offering the same content but in other formats?
Actually, I mean, Money Center is really well covered by the national television, and the Department of Publication and Promotion always prepared some visualizations, some videos, and place them on the internet. So our job is just to prepare the magazine, but the role of the Department of Promotion and Communication is to present in a, I mean, visually different way that just written I mean, magazines. Okay, because there are two departments. Two departments. Money Center belongs to the Department of Education and Publishing. But the Department of Promotion and Communications takes care of the presentation of the videos and other materials.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Let me see if there's any other questions.
Hello, I'd like to make a comment.
Yes, please.
Hello, this is Jaakko from Bank of Finland Museum, which you can see in the background. Thank you for a very nice presentation. And it was really enlightening to us, because I'm one of the editorial board of our staff magazine, which is so it's not only about the museums, basically everything what the bank does. But what is special about the Bankotek that you write in 3 languages and make it available also on the website. And this is truly helpful to all of us. So thank you for that very good service that you're providing.
Thank you.
Oh, it's nice, Jaakko.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I think, as Jaakko said, it was very enlightening, very detailed. We promised already that we would send the slides to everybody in like a few minutes after the presentation. Let me have a quick look at our poll. Yeah, half of you are still working in home office. That's not very exceptional, but it's less people than it was in March, so that's kind of a bit of a positive note to end on. I have nothing to add from EABH side. In a second, we're going to show you the slide with our email address in case you want to have a look what other activities we're going to do. We will have some online events for next year, but we will hopefully meet in person as well for some workshops specifically made for historical content creators, as well for archivists, financial historians. So go to our website, have a look what we're doing. We are publishing as well. We have a little magazine. It's called the EABH Bulletin, and gives a platform to all our members and related people to present their company magazines, their archives, their research, their photography collections. So if you ever have something you want to share with the more international audience, please feel free to send it to us, and we're happy to include it. And yeah, in this line, I wish you a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hope to see as many of you as possible next year in one way or the other. Thank you very much for taking the time, and see you soon. Bye.